Thank you. Now, that's what really matters now. The audio is perfect. We can fix the rest later, okay? Yes. This strange bedfellow's interest started their clashing the moment they won the election. It became obvious that the faction that is called the CPC, the one that Buhari has used so many times, attempted to kind of be the president of Nigeria, but failed. So they had to take the kind of the major share of this newly won loot. That's Nigeria. And for those of you who probably kind of don't remember this much, I'll tell you these factions that came together to take power in 2015. A faction of Buhari, where Malamu and gang, the jihadists, the fanatics from northern Nigeria, where they were reigning, they were called CPC. Atifku, Saraki, Dino, Kwakwanso, and the rest of them, those ones were from PDP. They were called New PDP. Then you have Tinubu's gang from Lagos. They were called ACN. Now, I think there is another faction led by Okoro Hausa called APGA faction. I don't know what the agreements were or what they agreed on or what have you, but the moment Buhari came in, the CPC faction took charge. Now, taking charge means taking charge, whereby the rest felt kind of cheated. Those who played smart are the Saraki's faction, the Atifkus, and they became the Senate president. Now, this clash of interest first showed up the power tussle among them. Tinubu wanted to be president. So he offered to be for his own faction. He wanted to be vice president to Buhari in 2015. It was the Saraki faction that said no to Muslim tickets. So because of that, Saraki signed his political enmity with Tinubu from that moment. Now, cut the long story short, Pastor Ruga became the vice president to Buhari. Pastor Ruga was considered to be a mole. Therefore, he was choked to the corner and he became just an advisor to Buhari on burial arrangement and the rest of that. Now, these CPC guys who took charge of Nigeria everywhere, that was when the Fulanization, Northernization were reigning. The likes of Tinubu's ACN, they were waiting in the corner, watching as Buhari and gang were depleting everything that has value in Nigeria. They had no choice, they had no chance. And as it was, if they had tried to fight them, they would have been jailed long time ago or killed. So they decided to wait and watch. And some turned to praise singing. They were praising and singing them, defending these thieves. They were seeing them, Buhari and gang, looting Nigeria, destroying Nigeria. They saw it all around, killing Nigerians. But they couldn't say anything, or else they will become victims of the same tyranny that they have just empowered. Then the tussle for who is going to survive or succeed, the Buhari started. What was that all about? I'll tell you. It was then said that they agreed that they were going to do a sort of a power change. Buhari will do his own. Tinubu will do his own. But instead of Tinubu to kind of be a president in waiting, according to that agreement, the likes of Malamu and gang, you know what they were doing? They started there working on how to either get Tinubu jailed or completely made politically irrelevant. That's the whole game all this while. And it was between them. So that Kanu managed to put the whole stunt now and in charge. So one, he needs to clean the house. Two, he knows his direct enemies that he needs to crush first. And these are the Buhari's people. Emefiole is just a bait. That's what I should tell you. So today, the Nigeria military, Nigeria Navy, they are currently being sort of challenged by the criminals of yesterday. One of them that you just listened to, Asari, Dokubo. So I'm going to put on my light again, and then just keep my fingers crossed that it's not going to, it's not going to, it's not going to, it's not going to, it's not going to. See
departments and agencies, other senior government officials, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure for me that I join you today for the inauguration of this administration's National Economic Council. The National Economic Council was established by the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999 as amended, as one of the executive bodies of the federal government. The NEC has the mandate to advise the President concerning the economic affairs of the Federation, and in particular on appropriate measures for the coordination of the economic plans and programs of government, ministries, departments, and agencies. Your Excellencies, it is worthy of note that the monthly meeting of NEC, chaired by the Vice President, have remained the official economic platform for robust dialogue among the federal government, the 36 state governors, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and other key stakeholders. In my inaugural speech of May 29, year 2003, I expressed this administration's commitment to improving the lives of Nigerians in a manner that nurtures our humanity, encourages compassion towards one another, and duly reward our collective effort to resolve the social ills that seek to divide us. I also listed the principles that will guide our administrations, and it is as follows: to be impartial, to govern according to the Constitution and the rule of law, to defend the nation from terror and all forms of criminality, to promote economic growth and development through job creation, food security, and an end to poverty, to prominently feature women and youth in all our activities, and to take proactive steps such as championing a credit culture to discourage corruption while strengthening the effectiveness and efficiency of various anti-corruption agencies. I also highlighted 8 priority areas to which this administration will focus: security, economy, jobs, agriculture, and infrastructure. We have already taken significant steps by ending the fuel subsidy and unifying the foreign exchange rate. This government will continue to transform our nation's fortunes and bring about unprecedented development through good governance. We are committed to sustainable initiatives and programs that will stimulate the rejuvenation of the economy without causing inflation. The plans and the ideas we have presented underscore our confidence in our ability to meet the challenges of the day and pave the way for a better future. The next meeting has over the years been very constructive and productive and key.
Right. Thank you so much, everyone. So far, so good for your patience. It's been a kind of, a terrible experience this morning, but we will continue. Thanks for listening to that. And in order kind of to share us up a bit, I have decided to leave this, this convo on the APC stuff just to kind of have a mid break and then move to something that can be, in between. And this one is coming from a newly elected member of House of Representatives from Kanu. Now, let me tell you the story behind this before I play you this clip. Remember that part of the scam that APC, Egbekegbe, pulled off, the criminals of CPC, the ones who have been kind of in charge of Nigeria in the last 8 years, the likes of Malamu, the likes of Issa Funtua. I think that one is dead. Is that one dead? Or Amamandaura? Either of them. One of them is in London right now. And the depletion of the Nigeria Central Bank, like the real proper, funding of terrorism that took place in the last 8 years, the one they are holding Emefiole for. There is one thing that you need to also know. That apart from the physical terrorism they committed, the financial terrorism and the rest of that, you see the major one, which is the economic terrorism, the one that actually touches almost every one of you who have never been to the terrorist zones, like in northeast part of Nigeria, is the economic terrorism, which Dangote is the beneficiary of. Sorry, guys, I just jumped into it, believing that everything should be fine. Let me know if the audio or something is not working fine. And if we can put the last 40 minutes behind us, that would be great. Now, the story behind this that you're about to watch is that a month ago, last month, Buhari and some of the APC, Egbekegbe, including people destroying people and others, they gathered in Lagos and they said they were opening the Dangote refinery. I remember personally, or you should all remember, that every fraud behind that Dangote refinery and everything behind it is pretty much in the open now. Yeah? How Dangote, a quota system billionaire of Nigeria, is actually the number one banker with the Central Bank of Nigeria. You can say Central Bank of Nigeria is a piggy bank. You get that? But they pretended that somebody, an African, has built something that the biggest black nation on earth could not build, a refinery. And it is a great achievement for the government that destroyed and buried the existing refineries in Nigeria in 8 years. that they decided to tell you that once Dangote refineries come on board, Nigeria will have so much enough that the price will begin to crash on its own. I said it was a lie. Okay? And indeed, it is a lie. We didn't know that the same criminal government, Buhari's government, that publicly celebrated a new and the biggest refinery in Africa and the world, actually commissioned a no near complete refinery. And they backed that up just to go and cut tape there after giving Dangote over $8 billion of your money. Yes, of your money. $8 billion of your money, right? Yet the refinery is not even anywhere near completion. It can't refine 1 liter of petrol, but yet they put the 200 million mumus on the hope pedestal. Dangote will save you. No, it won't. The same criminals also issued a license that says only Dangote is allowed to import fuel into Nigeria. Just same way, only Dangote is allowed to import cement into Nigeria. And he is supposed to be the biggest cement manufacturer from the biggest black nation. Are you with me? It is only Dangote that can import anything that has to do with cereal into Nigeria. He will bring them in, rebag them, and call them Dangote rice, Dangote pasta, Dangote this, Dangote that, Dangote sugar, Dangote salt. When every ship that batch in Lagos, every 10 ship that batch in Lagos, 5 of them are carrying the stuff that are on the contraband, banned stuff. They are there because they have Dangote's insignia, federal government cleared. Here you get. So Dangote refinery is not going to give you fuel. You were cursing people, fighting people, calling them names because they told you the truth, right? And today, you now realize that the monopoly of Dangote being able to sell the petroleum products in Nigeria at his own choosing price, they've set the stage for him already. And if Nigeria is going to pay subsidy on petroleum, which they are going to pay, Kanu is going to pay subsidy. Forget about subsidy, it's gone nonsense that some of you are repeating. It's not gone anywhere. Now, when they will pay that subsidy, they will pay it to Dangote. You will pay Dangote. Nigeria will pay Dangote. And guess what? The shareholders of the Dangote refinery that is producing nothing will be smiling to the bank because Dangote will be making money for them in the name of petroleum. You dumb fuck. This is how that work, eh? Now let's go back to the coming together of these criminals. So somebody now put that up, like they should revoke that license. How could you just give? If you say you want to make the market demand and supply, you know, this market is about demand and supply. Are you with me? So if you need 10 cup of tea, and I could supply you all the 10, and I will decide how much I'm going to sell each cup. So I can tell you each cup of tea would be 10 naira per cup. Because you can't find a cup of tea anywhere else. I am the only person licensed to sell you this cup of tea. You can't get it elsewhere. That is called monopoly. I decide how much I want to sell. I can tell you it is too expensive to give you all these things. So that's it. But where you have a normal market, a normal economy, not quota system economy that you have in Nigeria, that is breeding poverty, you have limited choices. The government of Nigeria, the criminal politicians in Nigeria decide whether you are going to lead a normal life, a standard good living, or a wretched life. And this is how it's determined. Now, if we have 20 people who have different kind of cup of tea. So, and I know there are other people you can go to. Mine is 10 naira. The quality, premium quality is 10 naira. I can't go below that. And you go to somebody else and you taste their tea and it's almost similar to what I just gave you. And they are ready to give it to you for 6 naira. That's you saving 4 naira, Abi. Economic sense. You will go there when you need a cup of tea and you'll be saving yourself for 4 naira. If you go somewhere else where they're going to give you a cup of tea for 50 kobo, some will say, I don't care. It's just a mixture of a tea bag, sugar, and milk. That's it. I don't care about this thing that you all place on tea. 50 kobo tea is okay for me. Not 10 naira tea, not 6 naira tea. Choice. So that would then be what would determine the market, what the price will be. So somebody who is selling at 10 naira, when they begin to see that their targeted market, they are running at loss, they will begin to what? Moderate it towards that. Abi? Towards the market demand. It's a choice. But Nigeria doesn't give you choice. Nigeria pretend to. They told you that they sold off the Nigerian power. That there are people that can generate power now. There are people that can now. But every year, these criminals will budget for power renovation, street lights, power this, power that. They don't generate anything. They don't distribute anything, but they control the distribution. Because according to them, they want to decide which part of Nigeria deserve more electricity more than the others. That's how they run it. Do you get that? They don't own anything. They want to control the market. Now, same thing with the petroleum. We have removed subsidy. Let everybody go and bring their fuel and sell at any price. So if somebody says, my own petroleum I'm bringing to Nigeria is going to cost me 500 naira per liter to bring it to Nigeria. So I'm going to sell it for 600 naira. I want to gain 100 naira per liter. Yeah? And somebody else says, no, I have managed to cut a deal in a refinery very close by, and my own landing cost is 400 naira. And I'm willing to sell at 450 naira per liter. Now, you can go to where they said the 600 naira, depends on the availability, and your vulnerability, or sorry, your affordability. Availability, affordability, choice. That is what should have been subsidy, but it's all scam. It is all deceit. Yeah? Those who have milked it, they are going to start picking them up soon to make you think they want to fight the scourge in order to justify why they would then have to pay Dangote. No competition. Nothing. No opportunity of creating wealth. No chance for you to actually be what you want to be. The system is tailored that way. And that's why they call it a crony capitalism. I don't even call it crony capitalism. I call it chronic because it's cold and kind of heartless too. They don't care about all these things. The poverty will spread. The public resources is shrunk and is limited in the hands of few. What do you think will happen? Nigeria will happen. So, this guy came from Kanu and they were debating it. Should Dangote keep that license? Why would they even give him such? Was it not that the license they said NNPC now had? I mean, it's only, see, under Buhari, NNPC Nigeria, Mele Kyari, they have been paying trillions of naira on subsidy, and we don't even know to who. Let me tell you how that fraud has worked. And during Goodluck Egbere Jonathan, NNPC, at the time, they were giving, it was like a bazaar. If you know, man knows man, okay? If you have that connection, then they will give you the license to bring fuel to Nigeria. You don't get money. You don't need money. You don't need any money. They will give you that license. That license is that you can bring fuel to Nigeria. And when you do, you have to report it to the DPRA or something like that. Is it called DPRA? Department of Petroleum Resources, wherever, right? DPR or something. You report to them. and you tell them how much of that liter of fuel you brought to Nigeria. So then you tell them what is the cost difference. So they will pay you subsidy on it. So subsidy is that if you say the cost is 500 naira and they want you to sell it at 97 naira, so Nigeria will pay you 403 naira on every liter. So that's where the scam is. So the license was just like, princess, what are you doing now? I mean, I'm not doing anything. No, we are just this Nigeria. We are tired, though. Okay, I get something for you. Take this license. Go and look for any marketer, anybody that can bring fuel, and you'll be making your cool money. Now you get the license. Here you get. You now give the license to any marketer who is ready to use your license, okay, to perpetuate the fraud. Because say you don't know anything about oil, you don't know anything about importation or refining of crude oil. You don't have to. That was the fraud then, yeah. So, but you can get the license through your political connection, whatever it is. Even if you are a girlfriend to one politician, you could, importation license could land on your lap. You don't need to know anything about it. Just go and look for any oil importer or marketer or anybody and say you have license to sell. So they will cut you a deal. That your license is what the marketer will now hold. So when they go abroad and say they are bringing fuel, in collaboration with the people in DPR or whatever, they can then inflate the figures and say somebody who brought 1 million liter can say 10 million liter. So all the paperwork and everything will be done between the marketer and the DPR that is going to pay them, okay? So when DPR now take all this data, NNPC will now pay the difference to these marketers. When they pay the marketers, you remember now 1 million them brought in, they have paid them 10 million liter worth of subsidy. Here you get. So you will get your share because they are using your license. So that was what Jonathan said he wanted to clear then. That led to the protest in 2011, 2012. Remember? 2012. So when Buhari came in, what they now did was they were not giving this license to anybody anymore. NNPC now took over as the sole importer of petroleum to Nigeria, which means NNPC is paying itself subsidy. Does that make any sense to you? Nigeria is messed up, but I just gave you the simplest information about this transition of subsidy to what it is now and what it is going to become. So remember that when they were inflating the figures, 1 million liter to 10 million liters, and they are getting paid for it. These were going into handful marketers, and the money was exchanging hands everywhere. But when Buhari came in, they took over their spots and they cleared all those marketers out. Here you get. So it became something that NNPC is now the one who is now going abroad, sending people abroad to take Nigeria crude oil, refine it, bring petrol, bring diesel, bring kerosene, and everything else that comes with the crude oil, is the profit of those who took your crude oil. No accountability. But when they now bring the petrol, NNPC is now paying itself subsidy in trillions of naira based on those same pattern of inflating figure, inflating number. Do you get that now? So like magic, the Nigeria petroleum consumption jumped from 13 trillion to 100 trillion. 13 million rather. 13 million to 100 million liters every day. So the fraud escalated this time, and nobody knew who NNPC was paying the trillions to. You know another part of the fraud? Under these criminals, when those who are stealing the crude oil in Niger Delta, when they make you believe that oil bunkers, those who steal crude oil, they are just some ragtag thugs who just, you know what I mean? They are tapping the pipeline and they are taking the crude oil and they are now refining them. They are selling them at the local. No. The real people who are stealing your crude oil are international, local and international syndicates. The local syndicate includes the Nigeria military, the Nigeria Navy, Asari Dokubo was right, as well as the Asari Dokubos of this world, Tompolo of this world. Their job is to protect those who are stealing the crude oil, to protect them and guide them from the creek into the IC while they lift Nigeria crude oil into international waters. Some of this crude oil have been found to have been sold to countries like Sweden, India, China. So, which means it is not something that people like me and you can just come together because we come from the creek. Oh, we have seen all of them. They are refining crude oil locally. Now, them, they destroy environment. No, they are not just the ones. It is the rots that they are seeing that has given birth to them, and they will continue to exist since Nigeria exists. Trust me. So the criminals who were stealing Nigeria crude oil, reducing the Nigeria's revenue earning under Buhari, Nigeria earning from crude oil dropped by 45%, 45% daily. 700,000 barrels of crude oil were stolen every day. That's not something you carried on your head or in a jerry can and all that. You need massive vessels, big ship to carry them, special crude oil vessel. You need crew member that will load them. You need security to guide you against pirates. And all of these are like state coordinated criminal syndicates, all from the presidency, which Buhari is very much aware of. Now, since Nigeria was losing money from crude oil, forex, dollars, is not forthcoming to Nigeria like before. And the few that was coming, they were expending it on payment for subsidy. Nobody knew who they were paying the subsidy to. Nobody had a clue. And in a space of 8 years, Nigeria paid over 11 trillion naira on fuel subsidy. Under the same period, Nigerians paid more for a liter of fuel like never before. And it's so kind of unbelievable, unexplainable. So when Kanu came and he said subsidy was gone, just like a miracle, the daily usage of petroleum usage in Nigeria, every day dropped from 100 million every day. Can you believe this? To 43 million. Haba. Nigerians that were using over 100 million liters every day under Buhari, and they were paying as much as 4 trillion naira on subsidy to God knows who. When Kanu said subsidy was gone, suddenly that same Nigeria could actually work on 43 million liters a day. Remember, before these criminals came in, the daily usage, petroleum usage in Nigeria was statistically put at 13 million liters a day. And statistically, Nigerians became poorer under Buhari. Statistically, businesses in Nigeria, more businesses shut down in Nigeria. In 8 years, 4.9 million businesses left Nigeria or died in 8 years. Over 60% of Nigerians are currently unemployed, jobless because of this. Statistically, Nigerians are poorer than they were before the end of colonialism. Can you even believe that? India is considered the largest or the biggest, sorry, which one is large? Most populated country in the world. China, India, be China. Anyway, please, that's not the context of what I'm trying to achieve. India has over a billion people. And according to the world data, India has one of the largest number of poor people. But guess what? Nigeria, with a questionable 200 million population, is currently the poverty capital of the world. do the math. Under these criminals, ask yourselves, is it the economy that is consuming more petroleum? Is it the household that is consuming more petroleum? Is it your cars that are consuming more petroleum? What is consuming more petroleum under Buhari that made you poorer? Your currency more devalued? Tell me, statistically, it doesn't make any sense. Statistically, you couldn't have there's nothing to back it. So which means even the figure of 43 million daily is just a poster picture to make you get ready that they still want to pay subsidy. But to who? This time, to Dangote. So, give me one little break. I won't blow my nose. I won't make you listen to Dele Alakori, as they are already carrying you through the journey of that deceit. This.
Yes, there he is. He joins me live from the State House. Mr. Dele Alakori, Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties and Communications and Strategy. Thanks for joining us on Network News.
Thanks for having me, sir.
All right, it's been 2 weeks since the President took oath of office. It's been 2 weeks since he took oath of office, and how would you assess governance within this period of time, particularly regarding some major decisions taken recently?
I think it's been very exhilarating. It's been very exciting. It's been very refreshingly different for Nigerians. In fact, President Tinubu has broken all myths in this country. Someone did capture the essence of the last 2 weeks, very succinctly. And the man said, in all his adult life, he's never seen any government hitting the ground running vibrantly, brilliantly, and ferociously, as President Tinubu has done in the last 2 weeks. And that says it all. This man has demonstrated that public trust and confidence can be won. And even in the discussion we had this afternoon, where we were reviewing all kinds of happenings and major government policies, because that's what we do, and that's what he does. He monitors very effectively and efficiently. And we concluded that the action plan, the title of his action plan, Renewed Hope, has actually come to reality. Okay. Because Nigerians have been given a new lease of life, the Renewed Hope agenda. And all the promises contained therein are being effectively, efficiently, and proficiently implemented to the letter.
Okay.
So therefore,
right,
there is what you call promise made, promise kept.
Fine. Well, the President has also made some major appointments within this period, yours inclusive. While not asking you to assess yourself, we might just say, what's your take on this in terms of the quality of the personnel and what they can bring to the table?
Can you come again?
Well, I said the President has also made some major appointments within this period, including yours. Now, while we're not asking you to assess yourself, we might as well ask what you think about the quality of the human resources and the probable impact on governance, what they bring into the table.
Well, the personalities, the antecedents, the track records, the experiences and exposures, selective and common, of those people appointed speak for itself. For instance, if you analyze each person on that list and you study the antecedents of each person, you come to the conclusion that these are round pegs in round holes. And the list has, as short as the list is, it has attempted very effortlessly to cover all areas. It is gender compliant, it is geopolitically compliant, it is performance compliant, it is effective, intellectual, practical, political, in every area of human endeavor. Even that short list of 8 people fit the bill. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is noted for headhunting. No one does it better than him in this country, and that has been amply demonstrated over the years, even since his time in Lagos State. We used all of this during the campaign effectively. Some people doubted us, some people argued with us. Even those who stridently disagree with us are coming around to give kudos to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. One of them even said, and it's on video, that he didn't vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but he's now regretting it, but he's now begging the president to accept him into his fold. And I told him that he's already accepted, because this is a man with a large heart. He has the largest heart in this country.
I don't want to get you too kind of annoyed more than you already are, okay? But I decided to put that in just to mention their appointment and the rest of that. For those of you who kind of feel elated, there's nothing to be. What they are doing right now is that they would have to make some scapegoats. And from what we are hearing, it will be a time that Malamu will be on display soon. And there are so many more that they are also putting on display. But while the real drug lord himself is now using this last opportunity to clear the house of every compromat any agency has on him. Okay? And that was when people said those who he has been kind of bringing around have shown that, it's just going to be a matter of time, okay, before it's going to be obvious to a lot of you that indeed Escobars, the criminals, have really taken over. It's called state capture. Some call it a deep state, but it will be dog eat dog for some time. Now let's take a look at something. The issue of bunkering and stealing crude oil in Niger Delta has been pretty much like in existing as long as Nigeria has been in existence, put it that way. It just got worse and bad. The likes of Asari Dokubo have been given a red carpet into the seat of power of Nigeria. But the likes of Asari Dokubo, they are that, I want to give it a description, they are that kind of local terrorists that we don't kind of want to see as terrorists simply because they exist because of the failure that Nigeria represents as a country, the failure of leadership, failure of everything. I will explain. Hear me out. The likes of Asari Dokubo came to prominence because they made people believe that they were fighting for the negligence, marginalization, environmental degradation, and destruction of Niger Delta through oil and gas exploration. People are dying in that part of Nigeria that just anyone could stand up and say, I need to fight for people. That was what brought about these guys. But fighting for people that have seen those who peacefully ask the government and everybody doing business in that part of Nigeria to take responsibility for the environment, the people, and they have seen them killed. So when the likes of Asari Okubo picked up arms, they turned to local heroes, especially for the young people from that part of Nigeria. They became local heroes, but they were criminals, opportunists, chancers, but they were never seen as that. You know why? I'll tell you. Man, Nigeria is not something that should happen to any young person if we all actually really care. Or not be all of us care anyway. Trust me. The level of poverty, deprivation and depreciation that you will witness in the oil-rich Niger Delta of Nigeria, if they continue to make documentaries about them, they are enough for some of you to kind of, start a civil war. I'm not joking. I mean, pick up every politician, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, everybody. Pick all of them or put them in a trash and tow them to the trash site and dump them in a trash site and, kind of don't ever deal with them anymore. But unfortunately, the level of poverty there has become the battle of survivor. Do whatever you can to succeed, to survive. It wasn't anything that has to do with the people, right? So forget about the politicians. So the likes of Asari Dokubo made the local people see them as those fighting for them that would then make those who abandoned them to do the right thing. But because they couldn't just do that peacefully anymore, they needed to show them that they are ready for war, and they will blow up all the pipeline, blow up all the oil rig, send everybody away. And they actually did that until Yaradua came and just dipped them in fortune, their money, it should be, you say. So over time, the likes of Asari Dokubo, using drugs, money, poverty, to rally and mobilize young people to make them believe they are fighting for their fatherland. Not knowing that putting together a small army, armed army, in that part of Nigeria, it is kind of economically sensible to give them crumbs, which they will see as wealth, that little of them, than to let them disrupt the whole largesse. They are raping the entire country. So the likes of Asari Dokubo, a local hero with oil money and some other money to procure weapons, intimidate those they can intimidate, extort those they can extort, and then make some kind of loud political noise. That's the game, isn't it? Indeed, like I said, Islam exists because of a failed country that Nigeria represents. Don't ever forget that. But they are the terrorists you don't like to call terrorists. What do you mean? They are fighting for our people. Strange people are coming to take our crude oil. They are taking our crude oil to go and develop Abuja. They take our crude oil to develop Lagos. They are using our crude oil to develop all these places. Look at us. We are living in swamp. It is the like of Asari Dokubo that fight for us. That is why all these small boys, they can be able to feed their wives. They can be able to put some clothes on. And they can be able to actually feel like they are alive, even though they are not. And it was the likes of Asari Dokubo that gave political strength and life to the likes of Kanu, Tinubu. You know the story. You call them touts, agberos. These are violent, terrorizing people that they are so violent that they can kill. And you believe that they are so covered, that even if they get arrested, jailed, they will be out in no time and they'll be back prominent again in the same society, mingling and mixing and doing like nothing happened. You know that. You call them thugs, you call them touts, you give them some fancy names to make them look less dangerous. Not like Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists. Those ones are kind of like mean, dangerous, yeah? They are local terrorists, and today they are those in charge of your Nigeria. Unfortunately, Asari Dokubo, which personally, yeah, I know it is not good to diagnose people. Here you get. I personally feel like Asari Dokubo has been suffering from a very terrible mental disorder, and that mental disorder is called personality. What is it called again? Oh, double or confusing personality disorder. Now be doctors, give it a proper name. I'll explain what I mean. Asari Dokubo, who came from Niger Delta part of Nigeria. They call him Edo Abani. I'll be waiting to be that title we then give him. Anyway, from the Niger Delta part of Nigeria, Asari Dokubo, when he started all this his charade, when he was putting together his army of degenerates, criminals that will later seek state protection for terrorism, suddenly Asari Dokubo read the manual. The guy declared himself Muslim. He called himself Alhaji Asari Dokubo. And he started living the life of an Alhaji, a Muslim. Because probably they told him the playbook of Olushola Saraki, Bukola Saraki's father, the one that always actually have to put people together in Nigeria. He will give them money, he will give them food, and they'll be singing La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. And he will record all the video and he will go back to Saudi Arabia and he will tell them how much he's been working to spread Islam across Yoruba land, southwest Nigeria, and it is growing. Saudi Arabia will now give him money. Bukola Saraki will come to Nigeria, act like a big man, a very rich man, powerful politician, and then a very religious politician, but he's actually a crook, a criminal, somebody who single-handedly ran down a bank, Southern General Bank, a whole bank. The greed and the criminality of the Sarakis, Olushola Saraki, a supposed pious Muslim that was helping Saudi Arabia to spread Islam in Yoruba land. He was paid good money and he was a big man in Nigeria. Asari Dokubo needed a cover, something that would make him look like he could say they are targeting him because he's a rich Muslim. He was supposed to be a prince, like Dubai prince. And I think it worked. Here you get, I think it worked. So Asari first became a Muslim, surprisingly. He became Alhaji. I think he went to Mecca. He started dressing all that way. But somehow, Asari couldn't separate his real Ijo from his adopted Arab personality. And I think this came under the clash when Asari said that Ijos are Biafrans. Okay, I get the name now. Multiple personality disorder. Somebody said borderline personality disorder. I think saying a multiple personality disorder, is a very terrible one, and it's a very dangerous one. Very, very terrible one. Asari suppose they street they pick. See, I'm not mocking him all because he may see this video now, and he may start doing his own video. And he will start talking nonsense. So I don't expect him to. This is brother to brother now. I'm not supposed to diagnose him, okay? But this is me being honest. Some said borderline personality disorder. I think it is multiple, but maybe it's the same, borderline. It's supposed the power line for Port Harcourt, they pick the way Nigeria no get healthcare system. Or Asari supposed the power line for Port Harcourt, they pick trash like a madman. Where people go to say, see this madman. Here you get. But again, he's been able to play his script very well. which means he may not be mad after all. Yeah. So this multiple personality disorder came under probe when Asari Dokubo, as Alhaji Asari Dokubo, started questioning or started kind of telling those who are supposed to be Biafrans, why Islam is this and that kind of created a problem between him and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And somehow, Asari Dokubo, where they show us guns, Asari Dokubo, where they tell us, say, the only reason why Nigeria still be Nigeria because the Niger Delta people never cut out of Nigeria. The day Niger Delta people cut out of Nigeria and follow the Biafrans, Nigeria will, here you get. I mean, his videos are out there. Asari Dokubo doesn't believe in Nigeria. Here you get. Just like Kolu, Tinubu doesn't believe in Nigeria. Listen to me. Your leaders don't believe in Nigeria. I have said this many times. You have called me names, you have abused me, you have kind of, it makes you feel better. But at the end of the day, you always come back to what I said. You don't treat what you love like that. Share something. See, your family, where you love. I'm talking about those of you who say then raise with love. Oh. Not be all of us then raise with love. Oh. Some of us maybe say, let's be honest. Some of us, they no raise us with love. Some of you right now, they no raise you with love. Love now something will be say strange. If anybody show you love, if you say, man, you begin to feel like I say they won't take something from you, or they won't do you something. That kind of thing, They didn't raise you at home with love. Now stoning and ekwe causes upon causes. You this Olori Bruku son. You see, you this, you don't go make you this share, you know what I mean? Like, you this unfortunate child. I didn't kill my own parent. Oh. Don't come and kill me. Oh. If you want to die, go and die on your own. Oh. But there are people who are raised with love. For real. Oh. Don't be like some of us will say any small thing like this, I don't throw bottle. You go dodge like that. Anyway, when I said it, like something you love, you don't treat something you love bad, do you? Let's be honest, something you love, your family, your children, your partner, your job, your business, something you love, you care about, you care for them, you protect them. You want the best for them, don't you? Share your leaders. They are the luckiest. Anybody who don't pass any public office in Nigeria to change life or impact on your life, but they impacted terribly on you, they were luckiest. They are the luckiest. They have everything you probably will only pray for. Everything. When they are serving in public. So what do they owe you? To treat you right? Treat us right? Do the right thing? Be responsible? Is that too much? Is that too much? So if I tell you that these guys don't love Nigeria, you turn around and say, now you don't love Nigeria, Mayegu. Now you, every time, it's not me. So the likes of Asari Dokubo, who are now the product of that failed country, at the end of the day, they ended up being the burden on that same people today. So when Asari under Buhari, the people of Niger Delta, they were not treated. The people of Niger Delta were not treated anything better. Ogoni cleanup is a scam that should annoy everybody from that part of Nigeria. The oil spillage in Niger Delta has gotten worse. Do you know that? The health conditions of ordinary people in places like Imo, Edo, even Edo, Imo, Edo, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Abia, Imo, where else again? And all these places, Bayelsa, due to gas flaring, oil spillage that have contaminated their source of water supply, contaminated their soil. The food that they are managing to actually grow have all been contaminated. No real medical service or health insurance. Nothing changes, nothing improves. And the likes of Asari Dokubo, the only time he was in the news was when he was fighting Nnamdi Kanu for who is more supreme and who is more powerful, who is more this and that. The other time he was in the news was when he was complaining that Buhari was going to be paying government Tompolo 4 billion naira every month so that they can continue to protect the pipeline, taking crude oil out of Niger Delta to God knows where. And nobody have a clue how much of that is being taken and to where. So the likes of Asari Dokubo are the good example that Nigeria has failed. The likes of Tinubu as your idiots, they are the textbook definition that Nigeria has gone to the dogs. Now you can hope and wish on a lot of things, but wishes don't fix things. Actions does. So, like I said, what is the difference between Asari Dokubo, government Tompolo, and the rest of them who became kidnappers in the creek, all for fighting for their own share of the oil money? And then the Boko Haram terrorists, Fulani terrorists that are kidnapping you, and their reason for doing all of this, for kidnapping and killing you, is because they want you to accept Islam as the religion of Nigeria and then give up your land. These things are coming with conditions. So if you call the likes of Alhaji Shekau a terrorist, and then you have a militant, yeah, that's what I said, like perception. Perception is everything, Abi. Asari Dokubo is a militant, okay? Alhaji Shekau is a terrorist. Alhaji Shekau want Islam to be the religion of Nigeria pretentiously, but they are actually after the mineral resources that a lot of you don't even know their names. Your government won't tell you why they can't protect you, why jihadists are killing farmers when we all know that everybody needs food. Shouldn't be all of us need food, ni? Even terrorists need food. Why are the terrorists killing farmers, destroying their farms? Because of something under their ground. But if they say it is in the name of Fulani, this in the name of Allah, at least maybe some of you can pick up your phones and defend them. Because anybody who talks about them is attacking Islam, and you would never let that happen, would you? Yeah? These terrorists, these Boko Haram terrorists, they are using Islam. They are Islamic terrorists. They are this and that. And you are offended. Sure, you get what I mean? But it's not about Islam. We all know that it's not about Islam. But when your criminal politicians are using religion already, and then the terrorists who are chasing after your natural resources that are finding their ways out of Nigeria unaccounted for, and nobody is being arrested for that. So you can call them terrorists. But the likes of Asari Dokubo, who are also protecting those who are oil thieves, those who came to steal your crude oil without giving you a dime, they need protection too, Abi. And the terrorists also need some money too. At the end of the day, it's a deal for all of them. But the people they pretended to be all fighting for, or the religion they all pretended to be all fighting for, you realize that they actually doesn't matter. They don't. So Asari Dokubo, the day you had Kolu as your president, and you had Ibori, and you had a lot of other criminals that they didn't tell you have already visited. Please, don't be too alarmed that here is another local terrorists, a militant, Asari Dokubo, a man who had no meaningful career. Asari Dokubo had no describable job or business. Asari Dokubo had no means of anything to say this is where his income comes from, except that he is rich and is not hiding it. Under Yaradua, in order to stop the kidnapping of oil workers in Niger Delta region, where different terrorists, they call them militants. I'm talking about thousands of different terror camps in Niger Delta, armed with sophisticated war weapons. It is just same thing you are seeing with the Boko Haram today. When you see Boko Haram, well, okay, it's just that only Boko Haram have been able to actually fight Nigerian military and defeated them repeatedly. That they forced them to negotiate. When you talk about the ammunitions, arms and ammunitions in the hands of these rogues, Asari Dokubo came from one of those terrorist camps. They call them militants. It was declared wanted some time ago. But when Yaradua came, like I said, what is the little peanut or crumb we can give to these criminals? And we can continue to explore and steal and loot wherever we can from this part of Nigeria and give no shit about the people there. Once we pay these dogs, they will stop barking and stop kidnapping. That's exactly what happened. It was called amnesty deal. I am talking about multi-million dollars deal that gave Asari Dokubo his own share. That the guy was so rich, he built a new private university in Benin Republic from scratch. Islamic University in Benin Republic, Asari Dokubo. He just had no clue of what to do with the money. It was so much money. Under Yaradua, before Yaradua died. When Yaradua died, Jonathan stopped the money. Now, so Wahala started. Wahala started. Until Jonathan reinstated that money. And when Buhari came, he didn't even touch that contract and that money. So Asari Dokubo, who is benefiting from coming from Niger Delta, is hereby making some statements that makes it look like Asari Dokubo love Nigeria. Asari Dokubo love Nigeria. Lenuyi. So today, Nnamdi Kanu, again, if you don't know anything or what to say or do about this effed up Nigeria, I think the convenient thing is to blame the Igbos. I mean, isn't that convenient? I'm feeling somehow now. I am going to finish this. And you are going to have to manage and then deal with me, right? Blame Igbo. Just look for an Igbo to blame. So, the people that don't believe in Nigeria, the people that if they have a chance, or should I say, the characters whose only dream is to be part of that table, get called. Get your own ticket, the meal ticket to the table where you can also get something from this effed up Nigeria. How does that work? Very easy. If you are closer to the table, then you must do everything to prove that you are with the table. Asari Dokubo, that is suffering from borderline personality disorder, multiple personality disorder, and every other disorder that you have already diagnosed through this explanation I have given to you. Somebody who came out and said they will blow Nigeria down if anything happened to Nnamdi Kanu. On this same street, he came out and he said, the Ijaw nation is different from Biafra because of Nnamdi Kanu. And he also came out and he said, he will do everything to make sure that he destroys Nnamdi Kanu. But what's happening? Then he came back again and he said, Nigeria can never break up. What is going on? And he had a chance. And today, while I was away, Asari Dokubo, a once wanted criminal, a once wanted terrorist, a cash out guy who is just flowing with the system. Unfortunately, Alhaji Asari Dokubo went to go and see Kanu inside the Asshole Rock villa. And guess what was his priority? Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu. The people of Niger Delta still have no drinking water that is publicly provided. The people of Niger Delta still have no access to the better or standard educational system for their children, better standard healthcare system for their people, employment opportunity, economic opportunity for being from the oil-rich region of Nigeria. There's still nothing. Are you with me? And when Asari Dokubo had a chance, he made two requests. Do you want to know them? I'll tell you. The first one was that Nnamdi Kanu is responsible for NSAS. And he must not be released. How? That is the first request. The second request was against the Nigeria military and the Nigeria Navy. Alhaji Asari wants Kanu to give him the job of Nigeria military and Navy. Because if Kanu wants to stop stealing of crude oil in Niger Delta, the Nigeria military and the Nigeria Navy, they cannot do it because they are the ones behind the stealing of Nigeria crude oil. Wow. So, what are you going to do about these two? Kanu, in his own words, I'm going to take you back to that. Alhaji Asari Dokubo, sitting inside the press room of the Asshole Rock villa. They say as mad as Buhari was, he probably won't give a platform to somebody like this. And I said, you are welcome to the party. What be this guy name? We come from Edo. Remind me of his name, Kabaka. Kabaka from Edo is still going to sit in that place and is going to tell you what's going to happen. Asari Dokubo said he is being responsible for the security of lives and properties and travelers along Kaduna-Abuja Expressway. He said the contract was given to him by Buhari. So Asari's people have been the one protect. God damn it, man. But the first one, watch this.
You encourage people to kill other people. When the madness they call NSAS started, I was one of the people vocal opposed to that nonsense called NSAS. And Nnamdi Kanu was walking free. What did he do? He poured petrol. He was walking free. He poured petrol